The views expressed by the hosts are their own and don't necessarily reflect the views of Caswells Shooting Range, even though one of the hosts is an owner of Caswells. And now, overlooking Phoenix and live from the Double Wide Network Towers, it's Caswells Shooting Show. Caswells Shooting Range is Arizona's premier indoor and air-conditioned shooting range, plus the ultimate source for using and owning guns. And now, with an eye always on safety, it's time to pull the trigger with your hosts of Caswells Shooting Show, a couple of loose cannons, Paul Abella and Carol Ann Bergeson.
Happy New Year to Phoenix. It's a new year. Good God. I've managed to drag myself through another year. Another 2014. That's 2 years I've been in here. 2.5 years. I'm getting good. I've got rid of my accent yet, Mike.
No, it's still there.
Is it? I can't lose my accent. That's not good.
It's starting to give it to me, and now I really don't like this one bit.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I'll teach you to say all sorts of English words.
Yeah.
Properly. Like, with real feeling in pubs and stuff. You know what I mean?
Proper English.
Proper English, my son. I'll teach you to speak proper English like what I do. Fantastic. Did you have a nice Christmas?
I did.
And a good New Year?
I'm still working on that one.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's what we like to hear. A good New Year is always fun. We spent New Year's Day counting stuff.
Counting stuff?
Counting
what?
stuff.
Oh.
Our inventory. We do inventory on New Year's Day.
Oh,
so
gosh.
picture the scene. We go out and get drunk the night before. We come to work at 10 o'clock on New Year's Day morning and count stuff.
I hope you didn't miscount stuff. I mean, geez.
Let me start that again. I got drunk.
So you did the best you could.
Yes, we did. And it was entertaining, if nothing else.
Great.
But it was fun. Did you have a nice Christmas?
I did.
What did Santa bring you?
Clothes.
Clothes.
Yes.
You know you're getting old when you get clothes, especially underwear.
Well, it's funny because when I was a kid, I loathed it.
Yeah. Christmas.
I thought my parents were so cheap, or I thought Santa was cheap because I got clothes. But now it's just like every time I get clothes, I'm clothed for another year, and that's great.
Well, have you seen what I wear?
Yeah, I mean, you see what I wear. So.
They give me this for work, and the other ones I bought.
Yeah. You just afford what you can.
When I came to America, I was packing my stuff, and the guy who was living in my house, he said, "Why are you packing like sweaters and jumpers and sweats and stuff? Because you're going to live in the desert."
Yeah.
So I took it all and threw all that away.
Oh, jeez! All you do is cut off the sleeves.
No, I have shorts and flip flops. That's it. So when I was de-icing my truck this morning with a credit card in the windscreen, like,
oh my gosh, my window is frozen over.
So was mine.
It took like 20 minutes.
I know. I need to move to a hot country.
Just wait.
They told me I was moving to a desert.
When it comes summertime, it really we're like our weather's like a PMSing state because during the winter it's like insanely cold, and then it just totally does a 180, and it's like literally 180.
Yeah. The first year I was here, I got snowed on. That's my sort of luck. I moved to the desert, get snowed on. I'm like, seriously.
You brought it with you.
I know. How does
ridiculous.
that work? How does that even work?
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you get for Christmas? We've been through that. Clothes. I bought my lovely wife, who's probably a sting, but she may not be, pepper spray.
Pepper spray.
Pepper spray.
Is that it that you're holding?
Yeah, I bought this for myself.
It looks like a little nightstick.
It's good, isn't it? It is, because what you do, you pull that little clip off there, and point it at you and press that little plunger.
Oh my god!
And then you go down in a little bundle and cry a lot. and one of
so it's a cry stick.
Yeah, pretty
much. Make
yeah.
people cry.
And then you beat them with it, because when you run out, you hold it like that.
Yeah.
And you remember you've been here when Raven Tactical's been here, haven't you? The knife guy, one of Nate's wonderful knives, who will be on the show again in the near future.
That was an incredible knife.
He's a cool dude. We're going to try and cut a car in half with one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we think we can cut a car in half with one. Well, he does anyway, because he's a big guy.
With the one he was holding that just shoots out?
Yeah, we think we can chop a car in half all the way around.
Oh my god.
Possibly.
So it's like a mini soldering iron type thing?
No, it's just
just carve it?
Just carve through it. That's the idea. Won't work.
Hopefully nobody's in it. Yeah, cool.
Fantastic. Well, we have a guest today. We have Don, who has joined us at very short notice. Thank you, Don. I only phoned you a few hours ago.
You bet. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. I only phoned you a few hours ago. Thank you very much for coming down. It's very, very kind of you.
My pleasure.
That's it. Josh, who was going to be here, he's not well, bless him. If you're out there, Josh, I hope you're feeling better. There you go.
Feel better, Josh.
Absolutely. What do you do for a living then, Don?
I'm a lawyer.
Fantastic.
In town here.
Yep.
Matter of fact, my office is down the street at
Fantastic.
2575 East Camelback, so pretty close.
You smoothed that in really well. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Good segue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so you know, that's Gallagher and Kennedy is at 2575 East Camelback.
You know, I'm a sales manager, and that was cool. I'm going to give you a job, I swear. We had Mark Victor on here a couple of weeks ago, and we're looking at doing a lot more stuff with Mark later through the year. Fantastic guy. And you guys are just so smooth, both of you. That was very impressive. I'll say. I'm going to get you selling guns, God.
Yeah.
So you're a shooter. You shoot at the Caswells.
I belonged to Caswells for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now,
Yeah.
I think.
And what do you think of it?
I shoot a lot.
You do shoot a lot, so I've met you. And
Caswells is the best. I love the place. Besides the fact it's only about 3 minutes from my house.
that doesn't matter.
That
You
helps.
will travel for quality.
I would travel for quality.
Absolutely. There you
But
go.
it's a nice perk to be that close.
Absolutely. And what do you like most about it? Is it the friendly family atmosphere?
You know what? I think that's a good part of it is the friendly atmosphere. I can call in. I get in a jam down here
Yep.
time-wise, and I want to shoot. I can call in, and those folks will bend over backwards
Absolutely.
to work me in. And
Well, as Don was saying, Don's a member at Caswells, and we've taken 25% off our memberships now. So next time you renew your membership, you'll get a nice little surprise. But we have
already did. Bought 2015 already.
There you go. See, I don't blame you. So we are without question the best value memberships in the valley, without question. And I defy anybody to argue with me on that.
I agree.
Anybody
with
from any range. There are ranges out there that are sparklier and got more nice new things and bigger guns and so on and so forth. But you put the whole package together. You know,
Yeah.
we've got autos. We've got. You can rent a 44. You can rent a Desert Eagle. We've got all of that. I defy anybody to phone the radio show on. Mike is going to give me the number now. Go on, Mikey.
I'm going to get the number.
We'll come back to the number in a minute. We'll come back to that.
But the people,
knew I
the
was
people
missing
there are the big sell.
Well, thank you.
Those folks are great. Everyone from Jackie back in sales
Yep.
to Levi up front, and those folks, they're just great.
Yeah.
And what a service.
Well, thank
I mean,
you.
you're right. They've got, if you don't own a gun, you want to get involved in shooting, they've got every conceivable gun that you can go down there and try, and then they'll train you.
Yeah, well, we've got everything from Mark 3 Ruger 22, all the way through to we've now got the 44 Desert Eagle back. We've got AR-15 pistols, full auto UMPs. We've got all sorts.
I'll tell you a funny story about Jackie.
Go on.
I came out from shooting one day.
If you're listening to this, Jackie, I'm sorry, it wasn't my fault.
No, that's right. And she is showing a young couple, a man and a wife who are probably in their early 20s. They don't weigh 200 pounds together.
Yeah.
She's showing them a 50 caliber Desert Eagle pistol.
Yeah.
And I waited till they were done. I walked up and I said, Jackie, what are you doing showing those little people that huge gun? And she said, I know, Don, I know. She said, they asked to see it, so I showed it to them.
Well.
But she said, we all know that if God had intended him to shoot 50 caliber pistols, he would never have invented the 45.
There you go. Exactly that. What can I say? We've got all sorts of little sayings as Jackie. God, she's taught me everything I know in 2 years. She's great.
Yeah,
but
she is great.
I forgot what I was going to say then. But I've sold more guns in 2 years on the basis of colour than I have of anything else. Colour, as in I want a pink gun, I want a blue gun.
I'll be darned.
Isn't that a pretty colour? The rainbow SIGs, without question, probably of all the individual points where people come and say, I want this, it's been the pink gun. Every time.
Now,
Every Christmas.
I've bought a lot of guns, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever bought one based on color yet.
No, I've not yet. I'm sure it'll come.
Probably.
I'm sure it'll come. If I bought my wife...
I'm an easy sell, so,
Yeah.
you know.
If I bought a pink gun for my wife, I would be divorced. Without question. She would divorce me, then she'd kick me around the house a bit before she divorced me. Is Mikey still looking for that? He's still looking for that, isn't he? God bless him. Are you still looking for that number, Mikey? You still looking for that phone number? You got it? Fantastic. Give it to me, because I'm going to put it in my phone now.
It is 480-421-0640.
You did that. That's a fantastic phone radio voice. You sure that's a number? Doesn't look like it.
It's the one I got. Yeah.
Is it? Okay, I'll phone it and see if it works.
Do it.
There you
Call
go.
in. I dare you.
We like to see we're experimenting on. This is live radio. What can you do with that? If it's,
That's what
we're
makes
there.
good, right? That makes good radio.
It does, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've experimented on radio and we have found out what the phone number is. Oh, the professionalism.
Listed right there on our website.
Absolutely. So, if any of you have got any questions or want to tell me that somebody else has got a better membership package out there than we have, the phone number is 480-421-0640.
You were almost like American right there.
Nearly.
Like,
Yeah.
that was cool.
I can do an American accent, but everybody tells me I shouldn't.
Do it.
I love my dog.
You shouldn't do it. They're right. Everyone's right.
I liked it. It was fun. So, if anybody wants to phone and talk about the memberships elsewhere, but by all means, feel free. What am I looking at there, Don?
Here's another number.
This is your phone number, isn't it?
497-5141.
That's Caswells. That's
Yeah.
Caswell's phone number. And the number I just gave you is our on-air phone number. We will bring you on air today. On air. And if anybody wants to
Right
come on
now.
air, right now, the first person,
Live.
I might even give you a prize if you come on air. Our first actual phone in. That
Wow.
isn't my wife because she's phoned in before, or you, Josh, if you're listening, because that doesn't count. 'Cause I know you're phoning because you're cool like that.
Let me step out and call. There's prizes up.
Absolutely, we do prizes. We do
I'll be
all
back
sorts.
in a minute.
So, what did Santa bring you then, Don?
What's that?
What did Santa bring you for Christmas?
Oh, Santa brought me a Dillon 450 loader.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's spoilt you.
Yeah, he spoiled me.
We need to talk about reloading later.
Yeah.
Good God. Yeah.
Now,
I think
the
we
only
have-
bad thing about it is I'm not sure it came out of the price came out of Santa's account.
Isn't
I
that always
think
the way?
we have different Santas. I got nothing that cool. So
Yeah, it's very cool.
I got a stool.
a stool?
A stool.
Like
A stool, yeah. That you sit on. A stool.
wow.
There you go.
It's old school Santa.
It's a nice stool.
Just whittled.
It's a nice stool with a little red top and it swivels and stuff. Goes
Oh,
up
there
next
you
to my,
go.
it saves me standing next to my workbench now. But I bought an IKEA workbench because it was cheap in the pound store.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, the Goodwill store, that's the one.
Oh, the Goodwill.
There you go. It's got to be good. So we're going to go for a break in a second. Couple of minutes. So we're going to go for a break at 1:15. Then me and Don are going to talk about how to keep yourself out of trouble with guns. Basically, there's been a lot of news stories in the last few days, which I want to talk about a little bit, and how you can avoid basically getting yourself into a world of trouble when you really don't intend to, because ignorance of the law is no excuse, so I'm led to believe. Although I tried it many times when I was a kid, I didn't know it was a 30-mile-an-hour limit and all that sort of thing, but it didn't work then, and I doubt if it will now. But there's all sorts of ways in which you can get yourself in trouble. Last night, for instance, I'll give you examples in a minute, but last night you could have got yourself in a world of trouble and committed what I think is a misdemeanor, but I'm not sure. I'll find out in the break. And spoiled your entire new year. And that's just a minor thing. So there's some major stuff going on in the last few days, which, with some simple training that costs very, very little that we provide at Caswells, you don't need to go there. You just simply don't need to go there. Shall we go for a break?
We should.
Go for a break. We'll catch you all in a while.
They all run along and have some fun. I'll see you when you get back, then I'll be up all night, still cleaning this gun.
Shopping in December, you get crushed in the crowds. Get crushed in the crowds, you miss special bargains. Miss special bargains, your partner thinks you don't care. Your partner thinks you don't care, they undercook your dinner. Undercooked dinner means a day in the bathroom. Day in the bathroom means you miss Caswell's amazing holiday sale. Starting at 9 a.m. December 13th, amazing giveaways, instant raffles, 25% off all memberships, bulk ammunition and discounts. All at Mesa's premier indoor shooting range. Don't spend a day in the bathroom. Head to Caswells. Check Caswells.com or Caswells on Facebook. You're listening to the Double Wide Network, where you can host your own radio show. If you're looking for a way to get out your message, welcome to the future. Dave Pratt's Double Wide Network offers you the opportunity to use our state-of-the-art studio to create your very own radio show. Our experienced and helpful production staff will help you every step of the way. Our free mobile app allows your listeners to take your show with them and play it live or on demand. Even if you're not in Arizona, we've got you covered with Skype technology, so you can broadcast from anywhere in the world. Whether you're in it to grow your business, make a statement, deliver a message, or just have fun hosting your own show, the Double Wide Network can make it happen. The Double Wide Network always has your show ready to go. For more information, just visit us at doublewidenetwork.com. Caswells, Mesa's premier air-conditioned indoor shooting range, has the largest selection of firearms and accessories in the East Valley. Highly trained, friendly staff instruct classes for any level, women and beginners included. Visit Caswells.com or come in just off US 60 in Stapley.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
As long as I live.
Several of us were working to rescue a family.
The house collapsed on top of the cellar door and trapped them.
We had to use Humvees and heavy machinery to move massive trees and debris.
We got them out.
We helped a lot of people out.
It felt good to know I could really make a difference.
Because I'm a citizen soldier in the National Guard.
Be there the moment your community needs you. Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Arizona National Guard. Aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Learning to shoot is a valuable skill. Learn at Caswells, Mesa's premier indoor shooting range. Fully certified instructors and highly trained staff are ready to help place personal safety back in your hands responsibly. Comprehensive training for all levels, plus new classes for women and beginners. Caswells offers the largest selection of firearms and accessories in the East Valley. Come to Caswells to train, shoot, and have fun. Visit us at Caswells.com or just off the US 60 and Stapley Drive in Mesa.
Just an old double barrel 12. Stock is cracked and it kicks like hell. Wouldn't mean what it means to me to know.
And we have returned. How is it that as soon as we return, I have to cough? Why? Why does that happen to me? We had some nice drama in the break, didn't we? Fire engines going screaming by. My wife would now no longer be in the building. She'd be in the car pursuing the fire engine because it contains fire. Oh?
She a superhero?
No, it contains firemen.
Oh gosh. I hope she's not listening.
If she,
no fish and chips tonight, Paul.
Nothing new there. Then I spend my life in trouble. It just depends on what subject and how deep. Now, what can you say to that? But that's the way it goes. So, what was I talking about before the break? So, on New Year's Eve the night before last, there were apparently 265 calls to the police about people firing firearms into the air to celebrate New Year.
Oh boy!
Right now, not to mention the fact that common sense will dictate that if you shoot a bullet into the air, it's going to come down somewhere.
Yeah.
Even I know that.
It's like gravity or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, somebody discovered that with apples and stuff.
Yeah.
With apples and stuff, I do believe. Isn't it so unprofessional when people leave their phones on?
Jeez. I just can't believe them. A fireman would never do that.
Absolutely. I was just like, but gravity, like apples and stuff, gravity dictates that a bullet's going to come down somewhere, and if you fired it a long way up, it'll go up 3,000-4,000 feet or so.
People would do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's I think the law's called Shannon's Law. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly sure it's called Shannon's Law. And
it is.
It is valid. Thank you very much, Don. This is the advantage of having a lawyer in the studio, right? So Shannon's Law means that it's illegal. It's actually a felony to do that, to fire guns into the air. Okay?
Jeez.
It is.
So you fire. So Don, in your opinion as a lawyer, could I expect to go to jail for that? Do you think?
Could you expect to go to jail?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I mean, listen, it's like everything else in the legal system.
Yeah.
That all depends on the prosecutor.
Of course.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know what the percentage is, but most of it is, most cases like that are plea bargained out.
Yeah.
And you could even plea bargain that kind of felony down to a misdemeanor.
Right.
But that depends on the prosecutor.
Yeah.
So if you got an inkling to take your gun out and shoot it in the air,
yep.
Be prepared.
Yes.
Because the police will come and visit you.
Well, they were saying that they spent a lot of time running around trying to find these people who are shooting guns into the air. But notwithstanding the fact that common sense dictates you wouldn't do that anyway because it's just stupid, right? It just really, really is stupid. But you stand a chance of going to prison, right? 1, and 2, it's a felony. So you get convicted of a felony, you then become a prohibited possessor.
You lose your gun rights.
Exactly. So you shoot one round into the air, get captured, and that's all your gun's gone. Makes no sense to me.
Listen, John Wayne said that life is hard.
Yep.
But it's even harder when you're stupid. And you know what? Shooting a gun in the air like that is just stupid.
Yep. You can't.
Especially in a urban area.
I mean, you can't teach you can't teach stupid, or you can't legislate for stupid. I forget the saying.
Well, God forbid you're unlucky enough and your bullet hits somebody.
Exactly that.
Falls down, then they find you, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Then do you go to jail? Yes, for a long
prison.
time.
Yeah.
So you have all sorts of laws that say you can't. In Maricopa, you can buy fireworks, but you can't let them off in city limits, right? So some bright spark, obviously, I can buy fireworks, but I can't shoot them, but I can shoot my gun in the air. Right?
Yeah.
But this is the sort of thing where there are so many examples of people who do stupid things through ignorance, through knowing no better and having good intentions. Okay, but if they take the training that's available to them out there, they don't get themselves in this situation in the first place. So, for instance, you don't buy a car and just go and drive it somewhere. You know, well, not many, that many people do, to be fair. But you driving test here is a lot easier than it is in the UK. But even then, you've still got to learn how to drive it, or you're going to expect to mow down a bus queue somewhere. And so why would you go and buy yourself a 45 and not take a class? You've seen me working, okay? And we talk to people about guns and what they need and what they want to buy. The times I say to people, this is your first gun, you know, here's your holster, here's your cleaning kit. We've got a class running on Saturday. Do you want to take part? How much is it? $50? No.
Yeah.
I've just spent $750. I can't spend another $50. You know, Don, how much trouble can you get into without even trying, right? By doing something that you think you're doing the right thing, but then find yourself in a world of trouble with a firearm.
Oh, if you don't have a rudimentary understanding of the laws as far as firearms go, then till you get that rudimentary understanding, you better leave your gun at the house and probably unload it until you get to Caswells and get some training. I mean, safety's one thing, but you get into the legal world and you walk into a school with a gun on your hip thinking, you know, I've got a carry permit, and you get charged with a crime.
Yeah, absolutely. Even when we do our CCW classes, people say, we offer people CCW classes, you know, $45, like half price, and we're still running that offer now, $45 for a 7-hour class. I mean, where can you get that?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, where can you get that? It's like $7 an hour, whatever it is. Right. So with that, people say, was there any shooting? Well, not very much. No, it's basically a legally based class, and people won't do it because it's, well, do I need it? No. Well, no, sorry, do I have to have it to carry concealed? No. Well, I don't want it then. That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. How you must know the class spends 7 hours teaching you when, how, and when you, and more importantly, when you shouldn't use your firearm.
Right.
And that's what's important.
That's very important. When you shouldn't carry your fire.
Yeah.
I mean, there are times that you can get in a lot of trouble. Unfortunately, we could talk about the constitutionality of those laws all day long, but that's not the point. The laws are on the books. You ought to know them, and you ought to comply with them, or you end up with a problem.
Well, one of my old bosses used to say to me, not only did he say, if I found something you do every day and made you do it every day, you'd stop doing it, wouldn't you? Yeah, pretty much. But notwithstanding that, his old saying used to be fantastic. So it used to be comply and complain, right? You can't not do something, because if you choose to go against the law or the rules or whatever it is, you're going to get hurt, because you can't fight City Hall. That's what I was after.
Exactly.
You can't do it, but you can fight it, but there's no point in actually going nose to nose with it, because you're going to lose. And the CCW class is a great.
Do they teach you how to shoot properly too? Like, do you actually use the guns in the class?
Not in the CCW.
Is that a different class?
Yeah, that's a different class. So we've got the CCW, and I was going to move on to the other classes in a second. And it's a great question you asked. Did you want to say something, Don?
No, that is a great question.
Yeah, the CCW class basically teaches you when you can use your gun and when you can't. So the question, Don will explain this a lot better than I will, because I'll probably get this wrong now. But you have a guy carrying out your TV in your house, right? Can you shoot him in the back as he walks out the door? Probably not.
Shoot him in the legs, drag him back in.
I'm not even going there. Could you shoot him in the back as he walks out the door with the TV? Probably not, right? If you challenge him and he turns around and comes towards you with a knife, and he's 6 foot and I'm 5'5", right? And he says, "I'm going to kill you." Can I shoot him then? Yeah, absolutely, I can. Right? And that's where that's a real not subtle example.
Those scenarios are critical, like you just talked about, Paul. If you're going to carry a gun or even have a gun in the house for self-defense, you better have thought about all those situations when you will and when you won't pull a gun out and use it for self-defense. That's where the training comes in.
Absolutely.
Caswells starts your thought process. They tell you about those situations. If you don't know about them, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, you're going to end up in trouble somewhere.
You're going to make the wrong move.
And here's a question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot, okay? And I'm not going to hold you to this because I asked somebody else this the other day, who one of the guys who runs the CCW classes. There was a guy a couple of weeks ago before Christmas who had an argument with his girlfriend and decided to shoot his dog, right? So he goes and gets his gun and pulls the trigger and the thing goes click. So stupidly looked down the barrel, pulled the trigger again and blew his head off, right? But anyway, notwithstanding that second part of it.
Right? Remember the John Wayne? The John Wayne saying, life's hard when you're stupid, man.
That's what's called a firearm thinning the gene pool.
Life is shorter when you're stupid, too.
Yeah. So notwithstanding that, if it's a great question. If I had a gun and I was in the room, if I shot the guy who's going to shoot his dog, is that legal? Can I do that? If the dog is my property, could I do that?
Is your property?
Yeah, if it's my dog.
No. I don't think so.
Okay, it's just an interest. It just occurred to me the other day.
You can use your gun for self-defense, or in the defense of another person.
Okay.
When you believe that yourself or that other person are in grave danger of serious physical injury or death.
Yeah.
But
it just occurred.
What if your dog is like a person to you? Like, it's your best friend.
I'm not sure. You wouldn't have to argue that in court, would you?
Still a dog. Still a dog, but
you're not going to want to argue that in court.
No, I ain't taking that case.
I don't blame you. There was another question that came up here a while back when there was, I think it was a bank robbery, and the robber ran out through the car park, and the guy in the car park shot him. And it was recently, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, something like that. Or he held him there or something. And it was interesting in that he wasn't charged and he was held as a hero, so on and so forth, because he shot the guy. But thinking about that further, did he consider what the backstop was going to be? Did he consider what would happen if he missed? And that's another interesting concept.
It's not only interesting. If you have the right under the law, if you come at me and you're armed and I need to defend myself and I've got a good reason to do that, and I pull my gun, but there's a lot of people around, I miss my first shot, and I hit this little lady standing off to the side. You know what?
You're in a world of trouble.
I'm in a world of trouble.
Absolutely.
I go to jail.
That's what I mean
just
about backstop.
check into the jail house because you're going.
Yeah, and that's what people don't consider. That's why people don't consider. I certainly didn't when I first came here. You know, I bought a gun, done my CCW class before I actually started working for Caswells. And it's all stuff that you don't think about. You just don't. Why would you? You know?
Here's a good scenario. When you pull your gun, this goes along with the question you asked a minute ago. When you pull your gun to defend another person, your right to shoot in his or her defense is only as good as that person's right would have been to use deadly force against the assailant. So you come around a corner. You're downtown Phoenix. You've got your gun with you. You come around a corner, and there's a big, ugly-looking dude with a .45 caliber gun on a woman that's laying on the street crying rape. Well, you think, holy smokes, you gonna pull your gun and shoot that guy? You might want to make sure that
he's the one.
He's not a police officer, and the gun laying beside her that you didn't see at first was a gun she pulled on him. So if you shoot him, you go to jail.
Well, there was a case in, I believe it was Texas, just before Christmas, where they'd got the pictures, and the guy was driving down the road, and he saw a guy beating up his wife in the car. And he got out of the car, pointed the gun at the car. Guy gets out, hands up, and he held him there until such time as the police got there. One that I learned a long, long time ago, it's really dangerous to get involved in arguments between husband and wife. God, that's awful. Or partners, because no matter what happens, you're going to end up in trouble of some kind with somebody. That's just the way it goes.
Exactly.
But the guy, happily, it went very well for the guy. And the police came out, disarmed everybody, and the guy got arrested. But it's such a subtle nuance. There are such subtle nuances between going home and having a celebratory bottle of champers and wearing some pink pajamas and sitting in the desert all night. It's not easy. I carry a gun, obviously, and it's something that worries you.
Goes back to what we said a moment ago. You've got to be thinking about all those situations, even in your house. What am I going to do when I hear someone kick in the door of my house? I'm a law-abiding guy, haven't even got a blip on my record, haven't even got a parking ticket.
Yep.
And they kick in my door, you pull your gun, and they say, Phoenix Police. Now, that's a really smart thing for a burglar to do, because that will freeze most people. Yeah. You've got to think about what you're doing.
Well, that brings me to a really good point, we're going to go to another break, and that brings me up to a really good point with another class we've just sort of started to get together at Caswells. We run it in December, November and December for the first time, and we're running it again in January now, and we've really perfected the first class, and we're now moving on to the second class, sort of in a series that we're redesigning. We're sort of redesigning a lot of the training at Caswells and seeing what works and what doesn't. And we've combined a couple of the classes, and now we've expanded on it now. And I'll go into it when we come back from the break. But you make a great point. People buy... I'll come back to that in a minute. What adverts have you got for us, Mike? Give us a sound effect. Press a button. Can I press a button? Let me press a button. Can I press that one? Nothing happened. It's not working. You haven't turned it on.
I did.
You didn't?
Huh.
Oh, let's just do some adverts. We'll make some noises afterwards.
Yeah, we don't need it.
I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
As long as I live.
Several of us were working to rescue a family.
The house collapsed on top of the cellar door and trapped them.
We had to use Humvees and heavy machinery to move massive trees and debris.
We got them out.
We helped a lot of people out.
It felt good to know I could really make a difference.
Because I'm a citizen soldier in the National Guard.
Be there the moment your community needs you. Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Arizona National Guard. Aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Learning to shoot is a valuable skill. Learn at Caswells, Mesa's premier indoor shooting range. Fully certified instructors and highly trained staff are ready to help place personal safety back in your hands responsibly. Comprehensive training for all levels, plus new classes for women and beginners. Caswells offers the largest selection of firearms and accessories in the East Valley. Come to Caswells to train, shoot, and have fun. Visit us at caswells.com or just off the US 60 and Stapley Drive in Mesa. You're listening to the Double Wide Network, where you can host your own radio show. If you're looking for a way to get out your message, welcome to the future. Dave Pratt's Double Wide Network offers you the opportunity to use our state-of-the-art studio to create your very own radio show. Our experienced and helpful production staff will help you every step of the way. Our free mobile app allows your listeners to take your show with them and play it live or on demand. Even if you're not in Arizona, we've got you covered with Skype technology, so you can broadcast from anywhere in the world. Whether you're in it to grow your business, make a statement, deliver a message, or just have fun hosting your own show, the Double Wide Network can make it happen. The Double Wide Network always has your show ready to go. For more information, just visit us at doublewidenetwork.com. Shopping in December, you get crushed in the crowds. Get crushed in the crowds, you miss special bargains.
Aww.
Miss special bargains, your partner thinks you don't care. Your partner thinks you don't care, they undercook your dinner. Undercooked dinner means a day in the bathroom. Day in the bathroom means you miss Caswell's amazing holiday sale. Starting at 9 a.m. December 13th, amazing giveaways, instant raffles, 25% off all memberships, bulk ammunition and discounts. All at Mesa's premier indoor shooting range. Don't spend a day in the bathroom. Head to Caswell's. Check Caswells.com or Caswells on Facebook.
It's the wedding music. That's the wedding music to me now, don't you?
This music?
Yeah, that's the wedding music, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry. Josh would understand. Hello, Josh. I hope you're feeling better, mate, wherever you are. There you go. Anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? So, it always astounds me, Don, and Mikey, that people will come to the store and they will buy thousands of dollars worth of guns. Okay, so I had a guy a little while ago bought a lovely SIG, real nice SIG, a couple of extra magazines, a laser, flashlight, torches we call them, 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Went on the range, spent hours on the range with it. I gave him some range time, the whole 9 yards. Okay, say to him, like, he came in a couple of weeks later and said, I forgot where was I going with that? He came in a couple of weeks later and I said, what's your plan for using it? If someone kicks your door in and says to the police, what's your actual plan? Where do you keep it? Did you keep it ready somewhere? Well, no, keep it locked in a safe. So that's a very good idea. Obviously, I've got a safe. Well, you should all have a safe if you've got a gun, right? But what do you do with it? What is your plan? And he said, well, I don't know. Didn't really think about it. I'll run to my safe. It's a biometric safe. I'll run my finger across it. So I said, well, okay, so you're going to run to your safe, right? Is the guy going to hang on for a minute? What, he's going to wait there, like by the door? Like,
hold it right there.
Hang on, just
I'll be
there for a
right
sec.
back.
Freeze! Like that, yeah? Because I've seen Starsky and Hutch. I know how these things work, right? As you're going to wait there while you go and get your gun from your bedroom that you've hidden away so kids don't get it. And is that? Oh, I don't know, right? So conversely, I was talking to somebody else today, and I said, "Where do you keep your gun overnight?" Oh, my nightstand. Do you sleep heavily? Oh yeah, I sleep like a log. So what happens when the burglar comes in and gets your gun out of the nightstand? Oh yeah, I didn't think of that either. So going on from what you were saying earlier, we're now running what's called the HD 100 and 200 classes, where the home defence, HD. Okay, so the first one's of quite a simple class where you don't shoot your own foot off, okay, which is normally a good thing.
Or a significant other.
Or significant other's foot, even. Or any other part
just
of anybody's body.
Feet in general?
Feet in general, feet and appendages. That's a good word. I was determined to use that today. That's what the first class teaches you to do, how to use your firearm. The second class involves more home planning. Okay, so what would you actually do? Now, I'm not going to tell everybody where I keep my stuff, but suffice to say, if someone comes through my door, that's really not an issue.
It'll be in your hand.
Yeah, pretty
hot.
much. Absolutely, yeah. So what are the legal ramifications of that, Don? So what would I need to think about with that?
Well, you need to think about a myriad of things. I mean, one of the things you need to think about when you have a family is where your family members are.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you're shooting these high-powered pistols, 45 caliber. It's going to go through a wallboard like a hot knife through butter.
Absolutely.
So you got to know where your kids are. That goes back to what we were talking about. Think about the scenarios. I know the door, where the doors are, that if they're going to get breached, that's where they're going to get breached from. I know what I'm going to do when I figure that out, when I hear that. I get up, you're in a stupor. I'm not going to go to a safe and try to get my finger on that fingerprint deal correctly.
I'm not going to get out of bed without falling over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I shoot enough that I'm not going to have to worry about how to get my gun operable.
Yeah.
I know where the safety is, and then you got to think about where that bullet's going to go. You just don't start shooting.
Absolutely. It's coming from the UK. Obviously, everything in the UK is built on 9-inch brick. So all my walls are 9-inch brick, and that will stop most things. But my house here, I've got wallboard. I think I've got wallboard and another wallboard and a concrete sprayed on thing. I think. With chicken wire.
But your interior walls...
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even to the outside wall, you've got wallboard, and then a sprayed-on concrete chicken wire thing, right? Which will go through that like knife through butter, and through next door's, and probably shoot next door's dog, right? Hence, will drop me in a whole world of trouble. So hence, you choose your ammunition for the job in hand. Yeah, and that's why you don't sell people range ammunition for self-defense rounds, for example.
Exactly.
And there's obviously, if that was to happen, so if, for argument's sake, someone did break in my house and I shot at them and missed, and it went into next door's house, presumably that's as bad as me walking up to them and shooting them in the head, in legal terms. Would that be about right?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the least it would be if you killed somebody over there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a pretty good argument that's negligence.
Yeah.
When you pulled the trigger, you knew that if you didn't hit what you were shooting at, that you may kill somebody. Yeah.
It's all about
or hurt them badly.
It's all about what's behind whatever it is you're shooting at.
Exactly. I mean, you don't pull the trigger unless you know what's behind what you're shooting at.
Yeah. So that comes more in the HD 200 class than the 100, to be fair. And that the 200, we're running it for the first time this month on the 18th, I think. Yeah, it is the 18th of January. I hope I got that right, John, and Ray, if you're listening. It's on the 18th. We've actually run the other way round this month because we've run the HD100 twice. So we're running a HD200 first to see if it works. I'm just like finalising bits and pieces. So we've got another HD100 later in the month, and then next month we're going to be running the 100 and 200 together. Okay, so a week apart. So normally they're only $75 each, the classes, which is nothing, you know.
That's cheap for what the risks are.
Oh, absolutely. You learn so much as well. So that's normally $75. If you buy the pair together, it's only $100. So we do a special offer of that, $100 for 2 classes. So if you think about it, you could do the 2 classes together and the CCW for $150.
Wow. That's
if
amazing.
You mess up, it costs thousands.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's as good as it gets right there.
Because I'm sure that you earned more than that in about half an hour, Don, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Listen, less than a half an hour. Yeah.
I hope I never need you professionally, believe me. God, that would be so bad. But if anybody found the first person to email me today on paul@radiocaswells.com, I will give them a CCW class. Ooh, $45 value.
Well, get on the phone, folks.
How cool is that?
That's a deal.
Email me. Don't phone me, God's sake, because my phone will go off because I haven't turned it off again. But email me, paul@radiocaswells.com. Okay, that'll come through to me. The first person that mails me will get a free CCW. That doesn't include you, Mike. Put your phone down.
All right, whatever.
Or you, Josh, wherever you are today, or anybody who works there, or all of that. But I'll give them a free CCW. The first person who mails me today and says that they heard it on the radio and listened to me and Don. Okay, but everybody else, just get out there and do the class. This is not expensive stuff. You know, people will spend. You know, if I go on the cashier's desk, people will spend $300 or $400 a day shooting. Yeah, do the classes. We spend the guys who work for us have taught me everything I know in the last couple of years. And you can tell from my accent, I'm not from these parts. Although I try.
Where are you from?
How would we ever tell
Brooklyn?
that?
Brooklyn, yeah, Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama.
Yeah, but these guys are that good. They've taught me everything I know in a couple of 3 years. Okay, and I don't know everything, and nobody ever does. But these guys are very, very good at what they do, and it's not. There's a huge intimidation factor with some people, with families and the women we find. And I'm not being sexist, it's just the way it is. And it's very intimidatory to sometimes to walk into a range with big hairy ex-Marines and like big gruff guys with lots of firearms everywhere. And that's abjectly what we try to avoid, completely. If you come and see Ivana or Sarah or Jamie at the range counter, they're great. They're great people. You know, it's just like talking to someone in the street. And Jackie's about, what, yay tall?
Yeah, she's not very big.
You are yay tall, Jackie.
Yay tall. How cool is that?
She is not very big.
No, she's not. But she's one of the most knowledgeable people on firearms I've ever come across. I've come across since I've been here, without question, one of the most knowledgeable people I've come across. And we go out of our way to make everybody feel comfortable. That's the whole point of doing it. You know, the classes don't, unless you get to the really, really advanced classes, it doesn't involve rolling around shouting at people in the dark.
Right.
You know, it doesn't. It's about normal, everyday situations. And that's what it's all about.
Everybody up at the front desk or at Caswells are just really knowledgeable. From Sarah, like you said, Jackie, all of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Levi. And all you have to do is ask, and they'll bend over backwards.
Absolutely. Unless, of course, you go up to Levi and ask him if he's got any swag. Because that will involve some kind of serious violence towards you. I don't know why he just doesn't like that for some reason. Yeah, you get a free trip to hospital if you say that to Levi. But I will find out what that's all about one day. But no, John and Ray, who run the class, who run the HD200, Ray's been in the military for a young number of years. He's older than I am, but far fitter than I am.
Talking about Ray, what a great guy that is.
Isn't he just?
I mean, he's a gem.
Yeah, he's a gem. Great guy. What he doesn't know about guns, firearms and looking after yourself
exactly
really isn't worth knowing. But if you came in and asked me, if you came and tried to identify Ray, you wouldn't be able to, because he's totally not what you expect. He's like your granddad. Sorry, Ray. I'm really, really sorry, but he's like your granddad. And John's ex-PD. He's been on the force had been on the force for many, many years. And again, what Ray brings in experience and looking after himself and so on and so forth, where what he misses in sort of on the street scenario situation, so to speak, John has. So they both do the class together, and that's the whole point. And it's a brilliant class. It really, really is a good class. So worth it. So worth it.
And even if you're not in a class, you just go shoot at Caswells.
Yeah.
If Ray's the range officer at that time, and he sees something that you're doing wrong or you should be doing a different way, he is so helpful.
Absolutely. I'm just coming on. If there are people listening to the show who's not actually shot before and think it's intimidating and don't want to do it, come down, ask for me, Paul. British Paul, because I'm the only British guy there. Not hard to find. Ask for me, ask for Ray if he's around, John if he's around, or Levi. We'll help you. Of course we will.
The last thing you want to do is be that kid on YouTube that's shooting a 45 with one hand sideways, and it flies back and knocks them unconscious.
Oh, we've seen it. We've had them. Like you won't believe. The best ones are the ones that they hold the Desert Eagle, like with Ben. I'm doing this in a radio show.
Elbows.
With bow elbow with the gun right in front so they can look right down the sights.
Yeah, about 2 inches from their nose.
Or about 2 inches from where their nose what is at the moment, but won't be in a minute.
and with their support hand right behind the slide.
Oh, that's just below the slide.
That's a good one.
Someone said to me today, is there ever a danger of catching the slide catching the back of your hand? I said, yeah, once.
One time. You only do it once.
I'll tell you the story. When I was qualifying to carry at Caswells, not only did I slide by my hand, you have to pull and shoot from here. I bit the slide of my stomach as well. That's talented.
Yeah,
that's talent. That's real talent.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I managed to hit the target and the ground and the ceiling.
That's why they pay you the big bucks.
Absolutely, just to keep me off the range. That's why they put me in an office. So it's dangerous there, God. But we'll always help you out. We had a guy a couple of days ago bought a gun from somewhere. Come down, he got one of the range officers in and couldn't work out why it wouldn't go bang anymore, and he put the safety on. There you go. Right.
Wow.
But that's just the way it is. It happens, But we've had the range. We'll do a whole program one day on range stories because some of them are just. So you must have seen some.
I've seen some. Yeah.
Tell us a silly shooting story, Don.
A silly shooting story?
A silly shooting story, because I've got a couple here, which I'll come to in a minute. But tell me a silly shooting story.
Well, going back to that slide deal, here's a guy, I'm shooting at Caswells in a lane.
Yep.
And the guy next to me, you always look at the people next to you.
Yeah, I find that.
And just kind of do a quick evaluation of whether you need to load up your stuff and leave or not. But you've always got great range officers at Caswells, so that's what makes it safe. But this guy acted like he knew what he was doing, got his gun all loaded. I think he was shooting a 45 caliber semi-automatic.
Yep.
And I'm kind of keeping an eye on him, and he lines up to take his first shot, and his support hand was right behind the slide. And just then, and I can't remember who it was, it was Ray or Levi or one of those guys happened to be walking by, and I pointed at him, and they rushed over and saved that guy from contributing a lot of blood to the.
Yeah, we don't like blood.
Yeah.
It tends to go badly.
Yeah.
We had a guy with a Rover not that long ago, and he shot down the range, and he just started ambling around with it, like pointing it all over. And the range officer invited him politely to point it down the range and uncock it. So, believing that he did, he just nonchalantly from about 5 feet back pointed down the range. Look, he's unloaded, and it went off because it had the bullets in it. But he wasn't ready for it. So the 357 thing comes out of his hand, hits the window behind the range hits the window,
my God.
drops on the deck. Yeah.
Wow.
We have lots of stories.
Wow.
We have lots and lots and lots and lots of stories.
Take the class, everyone.
Oh, please take the class.
When I was young, I was hunting with a buddy of mine, and we were hunting coyotes back home on the farm. And we saw one and kind of stopped, and then he disappeared. So we got back in the car and headed out while my buddy had shooting a 25-06, and he had thrown the safety off when we saw that coyote. Well, he forgot that he had thrown it off, and we're riding along. It wasn't in a car; it was in a pickup truck, and he had the safety off, and he just sticks his finger in the trigger guard and touched it off. I mean, blew a hole through my floorboard, through my right passenger tire, and made a mess of it.
That's just scary.
Just scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, all right, we're having a bit of a laugh now, but like the what happened to that young mother in Idaho? I think it was a couple of days before Christmas, or it might have been just after. Takes her son shopping, right, in Walmart, ambling around Walmart like you do, looking at stuff, right? Kid goes down her purse, finds a gun, shoots her with it. Dead.
The kid does?
Yep, 29 years old. What? Not the kid, obviously. The kid was 2. Right, but she'd left it. She got a concealed carry permit, carried it perfectly legally. Right, left it in a bag, and she hung it on the back of the you call it a cart, don't you? We call it a trolley on the back of the cart. A kid just like she's gone off looking at jelly or jello, or whatever you call it. Right, yeah. Kid goes down the thing, finds whatever gun it was, plays with it, bang,
yeah,
blew her away. Jeez. Right, so a 29-year-old girl has lost her life. Right, the kids got to live with the fact he's killed his mum. There are 3 other kids that haven't got a parent anymore. Right, all because somebody didn't think long and hard enough about how they carried their weapon.
You can bet she didn't have training.
Oh, put money on it.
You can bet. You can bet she went and bought a little concealed gun, thought it was pretty cool, had no idea what she was doing. And then to let your gun out of your control within the reach of your young boy, and it was a really young kid, wasn't it?
2 years old.
2, yeah.
And please don't anybody think I'm having a go at the poor woman because
no, it's horrible what
happens. But
no training.
Exactly that, and that's the point. You just don't do it. It's ridiculous. And the same thing goes. I've got another print here of that the girl who killed the instructor with the Uzi earlier in the year. We ended up being spoken to. We ended up speaking to all sorts of radio programs and TV programs and all sorts, because we were one of the few that would actually talk to anybody. And although the instructor made a couple of mistakes here and there, right, the simple fact is that at least they were trying, okay, and accidents happen. But that's an accident. You can't fault people. You got people here saying, "Oh, a 9-year-old shouldn't be shooting an Uzi." But realistically, somewhere along the line, they're going to get hold of a gun at some point, right? At some point. So you either have to train them, right, or you have to forget, or you have to try and say the real world doesn't actually exist. We're going to live in this bubble where I don't agree with guns, and therefore they don't exist. And it makes no sense.
Hindsight's always 20/20, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And it certainly wasn't the fault of the gun.
No.
Certainly wasn't the fault of the gun.
The gun's not leapt out and my guns are in my house. They're not shooting anybody as far as I'm aware at the moment. Yeah. I was out. We were talking before the program, Mike, and you go out shooting in the desert. Yeah. And I was out there. I was out in the desert a few months ago with some family, friends of friends. Yeah. And they've got a 6-year-old who shoots a 22 rifle. Mm-hmm. Shoots it way better than I do. Right? And it's safe, completely safe with it. Now people will and have said, "Well, it's disgraceful, like 6-year-olds shooting guns." Why? You can't. If you disagree with the fact that guns are available, that's one thing, right? But to live in a bubble that says we're just going to completely ignore the fact that they exist is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And you're just asking for it. It's like not learning to cross the road because you disagree with cars. It makes no sense. And
exactly.
It's the same with this. Even the people out there who don't want to actually come and shoot, come and learn about it.
There it is. Even people that don't currently have an interest in shooting, but say a family member does, they should get trained up. They should get it, because most of the problem with the gun grabbers and the anti-rights people that want to take our guns away, many of those people have never had a gun in their hand.
Absolutely.
And they're scared of it.
Yep.
And so they think because they're scared of it, it's got to be a bad deal, right?
Absolutely.
We just take it away from everyone. Yeah. Then we don't have to worry about it, except the bad guys.
Yeah, except the 350-odd million guns listed out there.
Because they're going to have them no matter what.
Absolutely.
I don't care what law you pass.
And even if you decided tomorrow that you hated guns and they were terribly bad. Oh, Mikey, you had kids tomorrow and you decided that guns are a terrible thing. Right? You can not have guns. You can make sure there are no guns in your house. Are you going to keep your kids from going to other people's houses? Are they going to go to somebody else's house where they find a gun and go, oh, that's what I play with every day, because that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. So I've had this argument time and time again with people who say, well, I don't want my kids shooting guns. I defy, again, it's another thing I put out there. I would love to talk to an anti-gun person on this program. I would love to. I'm not after beating anybody up. I'm not after dragging people on here and humiliating them and taking them to pieces on radio and having Mikey cut them off when I'm finished with them. Right? I'm really not after that. And you probably find that the people out there who are against guns and hurting people, you'll probably find that you've got more common ground with me than you think you have. Right? And I not challenge is the wrong word, but I invite anybody out there who's got an opinion about this, about gun legislation, about background checks, about automatics, anything, please email me on paul@radiocaswells.com. I'll happily put you on the show. I'll give you half an hour of your own time where you can discuss with me your views, and I'll discuss my views and the way the gun world is. I'm not going to rip you to pieces. Why would I? What's the point? Don't make good radio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, it would.
That would be really fun.
Absolutely. It's called a debate. We'll have a debate. Mikey can chairperson it, whatever you call it.
And it'd be fun because I will tell you, I don't think there's many gun control laws out there that are supportable.
No, there are very few.
That are supportable.
Absolutely. If you look at the gun laws in the UK, you can still own a gun in the UK, but surprisingly, you can own a shotgun, right? But it costs thousands of dollars a year. Okay, but you're probably safer in London, safer going out for a drink in London than you are in Phoenix. Sorry, safer in Phoenix.
Yes, absolutely the opposite.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly that. Because it's a great leveler, and people know it's a great leveler, and that's the point.
After the UK essentially banned guns,
yep.
Look at their crime rate.
Oh yeah, it's appalling.
It's out the roof.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Compared to states that have good gun laws like Arizona, Hawaii, Alaska.
Yep.
I mean, just compare it to states like Illinois, which has got draconian gun laws.
Isn't Chicago still the highest?
Oh yeah,
in the US.
Yeah.
And that's what.
How about DC?
Well, absolutely. Well, we won't. When we sell guns online as well. Excuse me. We sell guns online as well. We won't sell guns to Illinois because it's so onerous. The laws are so onerous. We can't. Too much aggravation.
Now, after Heller and McDonald, they've been forced to back off of some of those laws, but they're still one of the most onerous gun law states in the country, and still got the highest murder rate, the highest crime rate.
Yep.
I mean, do the math. I mean, it's easy.
Didn't the Supreme Court ruled against DC a while back, if I remember rightly?
Absolutely.
Correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, because I'm not that well up on your laws and the way it works. But as far as I can make out, the Supreme Court ruled that DC couldn't stop you carrying concealed.
Exactly.
But they've now made the requirement that you have to pass a test for which they have no instructors. Is that right?
And that law will go on up.
Yeah.
DC is one of those places that just don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, Heller was a DC case. Heller was the case where the Supreme Court said the Second Amendment protects the right of an individual to keep and bear arms for his own self-defense.
Okay.
That was the start of the cascade.
Yeah.
So DC had to change their laws.
Yeah.
They changed them, but then they made the concealed carry very restrictive.
So I read that, yeah.
So restrictive that although there was a possibility on the books, they made it where you really couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Supreme Court, not the Supreme Court, the district court struck it down.
Right.
That'll go to the Supremes.
Yeah.
They'll strike it down, and DC will take the next step and try to manipulate the law.
They're just going to keep pushing
to get
it,
as restrictive as they can, and but not get challenged in the courts. I say the Second Amendment's pretty clear, right? It says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So don't infringe.
We're going to have a conversation about this on another show.
Yeah. I get a little passionate about it.
We're going to have a conversation about this on another show because it's interesting. That whole Second Amendment thing interests me hugely because I don't know the exact wording of it. You have to excuse me, but shan't infringe your rights. But then, if you've got a felony, you can't do it. If you and so on and so forth. So there are limitations to everything.
But understand this: the felony part of it. Back when the Second Amendment was ratified, it was pretty clear. Everybody understood that the right to keep and bear arms was a natural, God-given right, and the government couldn't infringe on it. But that right only applied to peaceful, law-abiding people. I mean, everyone understood that. So that's where I don't have a problem with violent felons being prohibited. A white-collar crime guy? that's not done a violent thing in his life?
Don, you hold that thought. We'll have this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring you back for another show in a couple of weeks' time, probably a couple 3 weeks.
Sure.
And we'll do this a bit longer.
You get me going on the Second Amendment. We'll have some fun.
It's an interesting subject because we spoke about it with me and Mark Victor a while ago. And we're going to do some more stuff around yourself, around Mark, and around what we've got some really exciting plans for Caswells next year. Involving a lot of things to do with just getting the word out that the guns are not the big terrible thing that everybody think they are.
No.
You know, I've got guns and none of them have shot anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I leave them alone all day. Some of them. You know?
Exactly. My guns have never jumped up and shot anyone.
No, I go back.
Mikey's guns don't.
I've gone home. They've not fought each other. They've not
Very-
shot each other. You know,
Very inanimate.
absolutely. There you go. So that's another week over. Another
is.
show done. I'm
done.
getting good at this thing. I'm getting good at this radio show, Lark. I tell you. So anybody out there, if you want a free CCW class, drop me a mail to Paul at radiocaswells.com. First person who does that, I will give them a one free CCW class. For the rest of the classes, drop me an email to the same address. I'll give you the details of them. Come and do the classes, guys. We've got the HD 100 on the 25th. We've got the HD 200 for any of you that have already done the 100 on the 18th. And we've got some more. We've got some more dates into next month. If you drop me an email, I can do both classes for $100. That's $100 for 2 classes of these guys' time. It's so worth it. Drop some mail, guys. Thank you very much, Don. You've been a complete star.
Thanks for having me.
I'll let you go back to your sick bed. You've come from your sick bed to help me out today. Thank you very, very much.
Yep.
Mikey, how's your car?
Well, you know, it's
a Kia.
surviving.
It's a Kia. What can I say?
It's still a Kia.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Play us out with some music. Put some music on. Any kind of music. I've caught you out so many times, so it's been so much fun. Yeah. I'm going to make you a professional DJ if it kills me. Thank you very much, Phoenix, and we shall catch you all next week. Thank you, everybody.
Caswells Shooting Show. For more info, just go to Caswells Radio Show on the DoubleWideNetwork.com. Listen live worldwide every Friday at 4 p.m. and then on demand 24/7 as we shoot to thrill with Paula Bella and Carol Ann Bergeson. Caswells Shooting Range.